This call is going to take you through setting up a party as far as what do you initially message out to your host? How do you get her into the group? How do you help her start inviting guests? And then what do you do as people are joining the group? So it's a stay-at-home day. As you can tell, I'm in my pink robe. It is what it is. I'm sharing my screen. So let's take a look at the party that we have set up for March 17th, 2020. I have set up the group. I have invited the consultants into the group, so everybody should already have received an invite. So what we want to do first is, if it's me setting up the party, make sure I have the party set up before you start messaging out to your guests. I'll let you know that the group is open. You can go join the group, which most of you have done. Then you want to message your hostess, okay? So here's a copy of what I sent to my friend Jen, who's hosting for me. Granted, I was a little bit more casual because it's my really close friend. I said, okie dokie smoky. So normally I might say like, hey girl, hey friend, hey whomever. I have the party set up for Tuesday. Thank you so much for hosting and introducing me to new people. Now let me tell you guys, if you're watching this on recording, today is Friday. I don't set the groups up a week ahead anymore. It's just that they died down. The hostess had way too much time to get busy and sending out invites. So if you can send her a message early and let her know. So when she booked off of last Tuesday's party. And that's our idea, is that we want to get bookings off of bookings, right? So when they booked and on Tuesday's party and they book, you say, great, I'm going to message you on Friday with the group invite for your party. So they know it's coming up. So I messaged her today and said, all right, I have it set up. I want to help you learn lots. If you have 5 guests on the live party, I will have a special thank you gift for you. This is your business. Do what you want to do for you, okay? I said, what is one thing you have your eye on? Now, I did not say I was giving her a full-size product. I didn't even say what the gift was, but it gets a conversation going. She says, I need firming cream, but I also want to try the full control. So I said, I got you. Let's work on this together. So then I start guiding her and partnering with her. To get 5 people on, which is how she's going to get a gift from me, you probably want to invite around 25. Now, I used to say, if you get 25 people into the group, I will give you a special gift. And if 8 people of those get on the live, I'll give you another gift. Play with this and see what works for you. But I was finding that people were just inviting their mother, brother, sister, daughter, dog. They weren't really thinking about the people that might be interested. So if I just say, really, our goal is to get 5 people on the live. That's the goal, okay? But you are going to want to over invite. Then I'm hoping that I can get them to really look more in their group of network of friends for 5 more qualified people. Now, this is a close friend of mine. She loves Arbonne. She already knows the whole deal. She's hosted before. I don't have to coach her as much on that. And then you just need to make this as easy as possible for your hostesses to get the word out. Just send out this quick message to your girls. Individual messages are great, or you can do a group message and add me. Play with this. I always used to tell them to send out individual messages. 2 things can happen. If they send them out too quickly, and they only copy and paste, they might get Facebook jailed, or they just might not do it because that takes a lot of time. So I do offer them, or just set up a group message, and then they can include me on the message so I know who it all went to. That way, individual messages work better. So if they do a group message, but I'm on it, then if I don't see those people come over to the group, I can message them. I will tell you what this girl did was she just went straight into the group and hit the invite button, which is fine. It's not as personal. They're not going to have a clue that this is Jen's party necessarily. If they just see an invite in their notifications, it would say invited by Jen Hibbets, but it's not as personal. So I'm going to show you what I do next, okay? And then she said up here that she's got some people from her new class. So I said, yay, new blood, because when I started doing virtual, she was like my first host. And Stephanie Turner and Megan Krug actually technically came from Jen, like booking off a booking off a booking, just so you know how this stuff works. She just messaged me and said she has a couple people added. Okay, so once that message is done, here's another one I just did today to a different girl. That was in response to something else. So over here today, I just said, I got your party set up. I sent her the group. I said, join the group and I'll give you the next steps for inviting. Can't wait. I did it a little bit differently, but I'm not giving her the next steps until she responds, okay? Either way is fine. Let's go look at what happens once people start joining. And this is important because we're doing this as a team. You should be a moderator if you're a consultant and you have hostesses in this group. You should be a moderator. which means you will get these notifications that people have requested to join. When you get this request like this, Jen Voss and Tiffany Courtney asked to join Saving the Green and Living whatever Clean. When you get those notifications, you can click on them and it will take you over to the guest list of people that want in. Here's what's really, really important. Don't approve anybody that's not your consultant or that's not your guest or your host, okay? So you might be personally inviting some of your friends into the party. That's fine. You can be a host. But most of these parties is you have a hostess. Jen is my hostess. I need to let her in the group, so I'm going to approve her. She's inviting people. How do we know who invited these people? I asked them a question right here. Welcome, who is the person that invited you into this group so we can give them credit for you joining the group? Hostess or consultant name. So this Jen Voss listed, Jen Hibbets is the person that invited her. But if Jen Hibbets is not your host, do not approve this because I need to know who my hostess has invited. That's how I'm going to know who my guests are. And I'll talk with you. The last thing we're going to talk about is how would you manage this well. Okay, so Tiffany Courtney was invited by Jen. When I first saw this approval come through, I didn't see that she had responded as to who invited her. So I actually just clicked on her name and I clicked on message and I sent her a message and I said, hey Tiffany, welcome to our virtual party. Did Jen invite you to join us? Because I wasn't sure who invited her. And then I linked the group. So she was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, yes, I did request to join. And I said, yay. That's all I've done so far. Okay, so let's talk about what you do once people come into the group. Let's go back to that. I did that if I was unsure. So if you are unsure who that person belongs to, don't even approve them at all. Only approve them if they are yours and you are sure they are yours or your hostess's friends. Then I will go and either message them if I can figure out who they came from, or I'll just message our team and say, hey, we got this girl named Tiffany Courtney. I can't find a connection. Does anybody know who invited her? And if not, then I can message her. So let's go back into the people who want to be requested to join. Okay, so here's what I'm going to suggest. And somebody out there might be, maybe Leanne, somebody out there might be super organized more than I am on a way to best track the guests of your hostesses. Let's just do a paper and pencil, super simple example. You need to be tracking what you do in your business and what works and what doesn't. So let's say this is our March 17th party, okay? So I'm gonna write down my hostess's name. My host is Jen. And then I'm gonna make a list of her guests, okay? Easy as that. I also have another host, Jana, who has not been added yet. I do encourage you to max yourself out at 2 hostesses a week. Sometimes we think, oh, I can get 5 or 6 people into one party, and then you don't have time to do this kind of stuff, and you don't have time to connect with these guests, okay? So what I personally do is I go into this person's, so you can write it on paper, or initially I just screenshotted this and took a photo on my phone, so at least if you're not in front of your paper, you can go back later and be like, oh, you know, Jen and Tiffany go with, go with the other Jen. So however you do it, before you approve them, make sure they're yours, and then make sure you've written down that so you don't have to go through the whole guest list, because you will not see these questions again. Once somebody hits approve, this question disappears. The other thing you can do, which I like to do, is I like to send a message and just welcome this person. It can be time consuming, so my management technique for that is to not message them do not accept them until I've messaged them. So you notice I just clicked on the message button, and once I click on the message button, then I'll message them, and then I can go in and approve them. So I might just say, hey Jen, my thing's popping up. Jen, thanks for joining the party. Thanks for joining the party. I see Jen invited you. We are going to have some fun. I'll be getting to know her in the party, so you don't have to do a lot of this in private messaging. We are going to have some fun, and then I'll link the, oops, I just copied and pasted the wrong thing. So then I'll link the group. If you don't know how to copy and paste the group link, all you do is go to the group. So let me go back to the group. Sorry, I thought I had this open. go back to the group, and then just up in your address bar, if you're on a computer, up in the address bar is the website for where you're at. Okay, so there it is, copy. If you're on your phone, you just hit the share button and then it will give you the thing. Oh, did it take away my message? Really? Oh, there it is down there. Okay, so then I'll say, hey Jen, thanks for joining the party. I see Jen invited you. We're gonna have some fun. And then typically I do like to ask some kind of question to get the conversation going. But okay, we'll leave it like that. And so now that I have written down who my hostess guests are and I've welcomed them, if you want to do that extra step, I think it's really nice because you're bringing attention to you and you want to connect with them. In fact, you could say something like that. I'm the consultant doing the party, or I'm one of the consultants doing the party. See, I thought about that later. And that's it. So now they're in the group. Inside of this group, you will see that I have put a welcome post. And so between the time, today's Friday, we really won't start posting in the group for the Tuesday night party until maybe Sunday night or Monday. So what are you doing in that time? You're just approving your guest and your hostesses and your hostesses guests, and you're, you know, writing them down, making sure you know who's connected to whom, and you can be connecting with them as far as if you want to send a private message. And then the rest of the time, this is the only post that will stay up for like 2 or 3 days. So we really, really, really want to be encouraging our hostess to come over here and comment on this. Our hostess can be like tagging her friends. So you could even encourage her, hey, the first post is up. Go tag some of your friends, or you can be tagging the friends if you have the list of people right here. And you could just tag Jen and Tiffany and be like, hey, what is it that you love about Jen? She's one of my favorite people in the world. So I said, welcome to the party. Please introduce yourself. You get a bonus point for a picture. Let us know who invited you into the group and what you love most about her. So if this is your hostess introducing herself, she's going to be complimenting you, which is fantastic. Like, that's going to build a lot of, if people read these and they start to see connections about, I love Stephanie, she's my Arbonne consultant, she's helped me do whatever. And then I love Mary and I've learned so much from her. Like, they're going to start seeing other sides of this business, not just a product party. We'll be posting 1 to 2 days info 1 to 2 days before the live party. So as people are joining, let's start getting to know each other. So go ahead and say hi. So what you would do, Stephanie, this is your girl. She also tagged me. But we need to be commenting on this. You guys can also be commenting on other people's guests. Welcome to the party, trying to make some connections, asking questions, get the conversation going. So for 2 days, all we're trying to do is connect with people, not sell Arbonne, not talk about anything we're going to talk about on Monday, Tuesday, just connect. All right, that's it for now. We'll go through the next steps as they get closer to. Bye for now.